Imagine waking up tomorrow to find that every international student and temporary worker in Canada has suddenly vanished. Sounds far-fetched, right? Well, stick around, because we're about to dive into a scenario that would shake Canada's economy to its core. Picture this: hospitals running on skeleton crews, fields of unpicked crops, and tech companies scrambling to fill vital positions. It's not the plot of a dystopian novel. It's what could happen if Canada lost its international workforce overnight. Let's break it down, starting with healthcare. Our hospitals and long-term care facilities rely heavily on international workers and students. They're the nurses, caregivers, and support staff keeping our healthcare system afloat. Without them, we'd be facing severe staff shortages, longer wait times, and a healthcare system pushed to the brink. Imagine needing urgent care only to find your local hospital overwhelmed and understaffed. Now, let's head to the countryside. Ever wondered who picks those fresh strawberries you enjoy every summer? Chances are, it's temporary foreign workers. They're the backbone of our agricultural sector, planting and harvesting the food that ends up on our tables. If they disappeared, our food supply chain would be in chaos. We'd see empty produce shelves and skyrocketing prices for the little that remains. Your weekly grocery bill? It might just give you sticker shock. But it's not just about the food on your plate. Think about your last vacation or night out. The hospitality and tourism industry would take a massive hit. Hotels, restaurants, and tourist attractions often rely on international workers to keep things running smoothly. Without them, we could see widespread closures and reduced services. That dream getaway you've been planning? It might not be so dreamy anymore. Now, let's talk tech. Canada's booming technology sector owes a lot to international talent. Many international students transition into high-skilled roles in tech and engineering after graduation. And temporary workers? They're often the secret sauce in startups and larger firms alike. Losing this brain trust could put a serious dent in our innovation and productivity. That cutting-edge app you use daily? It might never see its next update. But wait, there's more. Our education system would be in for a shock, too. Universities across Canada depend on international students, and not just for cultural diversity. Those tuition fees are a major source of funding that supports programs for all students. Without this income, we could see financial instability in our institutions, program cuts, and a significant drop in research funding. The ripple effects would touch every corner of campus life. Let's not forget about the construction sites dotting our cities. Many of those skilled workers you see, the carpenters, electricians, and others, are temporary workers from abroad. Their sudden absence would mean delayed infrastructure projects and cost overruns. That new subway line or affordable housing project you've been eagerly awaiting? It might be put on hold indefinitely. Now, you might be thinking, sure, but how does this affect me directly? Well, consider this. International students and temporary workers contribute billions to our economy through rent, groceries, and services. That's billions that would vanish overnight, potentially leading to job losses and economic downturn in communities across the country. But the impact goes beyond just dollars and cents. Immigration plays a crucial role in offsetting our aging population and declining birth rates. It's not just about filling jobs today. It's about ensuring we have a sustainable workforce for tomorrow. Without this influx of young, skilled workers who will support our growing elderly population in the years to come. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. This scenario we've painted, as extreme as it might seem, highlights just how integral international students and temporary workers are to Canada's economy and society. They're not just visitors or temporary help. They're a vital part of our national fabric, contributing to every aspect of our daily lives. So, what's the takeaway from all this? It's clear that Canada's reliance on international talent is both a strength and a potential vulnerability. It underscores the need for robust immigration and labor strategies that can adapt to changing global conditions. We need policies that recognize the value these individuals bring to our country, while also developing our domestic workforce. As we wrap up, I want you to think about the people behind these statistics. The student working part-time at your local coffee shop, the caregiver looking after your elderly neighbor, the programmer developing the next big tech innovation. They're not just numbers on a spreadsheet, they're integral parts of our communities, contributing to the rich tapestry of Canadian life. The next time you hear debates about immigration or international students, remember this scenario. Remember the far-reaching impacts we've discussed. And perhaps most importantly, remember that in our interconnected world, our strength lies in our diversity and our ability to attract and retain global talent. So, what do you think? Has this changed your perspective on the role of international students and temporary workers in Canada? How can we build a more resilient economy that values all contributors, regardless of where they were born? These are the questions we need to grapple with as we move forward in an increasingly globalized world. As you go about your day, take a moment to notice the international faces around you. In your workplace, your neighborhood, your local businesses. They're not just passing through, they're helping to build the Canada of tomorrow. And that's something worth thinking about.